Okay, so just so you understand, just to contextualize this, so in the Taoist teachings in Qigong, the rainbow light is the manifestation of the one light, which is actually is what it is. If you have a prism, you have the one light, which is the sun, okay, and it shines through, and then it creates this spectrum, this rainbow, or a real rainbow, you know, out in the sky it's a manifestation of the one light. So they've taken that to be just like a step from the source, if that makes sense. It's very close to the source. So in the teachings, the rainbow light is considered to be healing energy. And if you're involved in chi healing or energy healing, any kind of these things, you'll understand this. And then each organ or little organ system has a color. So when you're bringing in this rainbow light, you're using your mind to concentrate the life force energy in that way. In other words, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, you're concentrating in that way to all these organs, and then you're creating health and longevity. That's the kind of the way that they see that. But I would expand it just a little to say that the rainbow light is also for emotional healing as well, not just physical, because you can't separate them out. So that's rainbow clouds. That's where that comes from. And what Zoe was mentioning is the concentration. And what we're meaning here with the word concentration isn't sort of focusing on a calculus problem. That's a kind of concentration, certainly. We're talking about concentration like a can of frozen orange juice. That's concentrate. They call it concentrate. Or tomato paste, that it's concentrate, okay? So it's different. So with a concentration practice, we're bringing everything into the center. And so that's the in breath, okay? That's the yin, that's the yin or the yang. No, that'd be the yang. So that's the in breath, concentrating, bringing everything in, filling the torso, and then the yang, the opposite would be, yeah, that would be yang. So yin would be concentrating, yang would be expansion, okay? And in terms of vision, we can focus on, like we have reading glasses that help us to focus on something. And so there's focused vision, and then there's peripheral vision, right? So we can kind of be aware of this whole, if we're standing on a high place looking, we can be aware of this whole scene, or we can concentrate very carefully, closely on one thing. Okay, so that's the in breath and the out breath. That's form and boundlessness. So the rainbow clouds, the concentrating, those kind of things are very deep, and they have a lot of meanings, a lot of repercussions for what we're doing. Okay, before we start, anyone else have something you would like to revisit or go into? No? Okay, good. Well, we have enough to start. That's fine. You know, in terms of concentrating, what the three elements that we're combining, as you know, body, breath, and mind. So this is a concentration practice. Not that we're sweating bullets trying to focus our mind on something, but that we're aware of the body, that is how it feels. We're aware of our feelings. We're aware of the movement in the body and the sense of touch of the air coming and going in our throat and our nose. So we're aware of body. We're aware of breath. And we're bringing our attention to body and breath. That's our mind. So we're concentrating all that we have, the body, the physical manifestation, the body, the breath, which is movement within the body, and the life force energy, the breath, and then the mind. Okay, and so we're aware of the body by how we feel. We're also aware of the posture. So this involves mind. I mean, we can just kind of feel our body anytime, but we're feeling our body standing in a certain way. And so now you can, if you like, you can adjust a little bit. Usually we need to pull the shoulders back a tiny bit, drop the chin just a little bit, and then, just relax the groin, the pelvic area. And now the mind will intervene again. And once we feel the body is here and it's in alignment, now we can bring in the visualization and the sense of this verticality. And so that can be a laser beam of light from the center of the earth, or a column of light all around the body. This brings together body, breath, and mind. Okay. And then our attention is fine for the attention to move among the three. So once we're aware of all three, we'll naturally sort of, I'm feeling my feet now. That's fine. Oh, okay. The breath is going. You feel the movement. Okay, yeah, right. There's this posture. I'm standing in this posture. Okay, and I'm sort of visualizing and feeling this vertical, this energetic connection to the earth and the sky, this vertical. So in concentration, we can always put the attention on one of the elements of it, temporarily. It's fine to do that. In fact, that's how we maintain posture. So we'll notice, oh, okay, my head's rising a little. Let me tuck it in a little bit. And notice, I'm breathing too shallowly. Let me just take a little deeper breath. Remember, oh yeah, right. There's this connection to the earth and to what they would call the heavens, that form and formlessness. And so the attention can move among these different elements, and that's the practice. So this is the fundamental concentration practice of Qigong before we even move. Okay. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and we'll bow to the 7 directions. And this is, you know, getting our consciousness out of just our separate self. So to the east. And turning south. West. North. Back to the first one. And here, before we do the next move, we sink back into this standing posture for a moment. And then when we feel we've got it, and now we'll move. So above, extend, and now we're going to extend up with the mind, extend awareness way, way, way up. And now extend the awareness out in all directions. Okay, body is here, breath is here. Space around. Okay, good. And now we'll touch. Okay, and now again, we're concentrating all of this into the torso, the lower dantian, the middle dantian. So we bowed to these directions, all 6 of these, which is an expansion. You know, it's big, it's beyond, and then bringing that in. And we're doing all of this with the breath. Okay, very good. Okay, so ST was requesting a little more focus. These top of the body movements are very, very ancient, and we'll just break down what they are. So this is the turtle. It's where you reach out with your chin and then pull it down and then back. And so you're making a circle with your chin, really stretching out your neck like a big tortoise coming out of its shell. And so this is, the Qigong movements were modeled after animals. Okay, so that's the turtle. Okay, and then there's the crane, which is the opposite way. Sometimes I'm not sure which is which. Sometimes I don't remember which one my teacher said. So either one, but it's the turtle and the crane. And this is, of course, for neck flexibility. Okay, so those are the traditional separate movements. And traditionally you started small and then you'd make it big. Each time you'd make it a little bigger. And then once it was very big, and then when you're ready, then you'd reduce the movements until they're small again. So those are the two that way. And then there's circling. I don't know that this has a name. If it does, I don't know what it is. But it's just circling. And Trisha, you used to say, you know, try to touch your elbow with your ear. I mean, not really, but that's kind of the idea. So those were the three neck ones that I learned from the masters. Now, this is fine because they're body-mind movements. So you're doing them with great attention, really feeling them, and that's good. And then as you get lower, then we stop with the neck, and then so we start with one shoulder, and we just start to make small circles. The arm and hand are just weights. We're just making small circles, and we make the circles bigger and bigger until it's really big, and then you reduce. And so these are taught to do one at a time, to really give you a chance, and then the other side, to really give you a chance to bring your full attention to the muscles, ligaments, so on, bones. Okay. So this is how I was taught this, then you reduce, and then the other way. We're really feeling this. We're feeling every nuance of this, so that we're mixing our mind and mixing our attention with the body and the movement. Okay. And then the other one, going the other way. So this is how I learned these and practiced them for many years. And it's very good. It's really to bring the mind fully into the movement. How I began doing them after a while, though, is I just started doing them all at once. And maybe the masters are rolling in their graves. I don't know, that we shouldn't do this. But when you're familiar with the individual movements, I mean, why not put them together and just relax the whole head, neck, shoulders area. I mean, I'm keeping my feet planted, and that's a fundamental in Qigong. I mean, you could walk around and do this. I mean, there's no problem with it. But in terms of bringing body, mind, and breath together, we're still maintaining a posture here and a connection to the earth. So, well, that's sort of how it's evolved, at least just for my practice. So however that works for you. And then this is part of this upper body too. And we're very, very focused on the front, just because that's where our sense organs are, on the front of our face, and we're always looking forward and so on. And so Trisha Yu calls this movement, she calls it ta-da. But this is also, I mean, opening the fourth gate. This is opening the chest. But in addition to this chest thing, if we move our attention to the back, we're folding our shoulder blades. We're kind of almost touching our shoulder blades in the back, and then opening the back. So we're opening the front, then we're opening the back. But this kind of is a little surprising. We think, oh yes, movement is about the front. But you're opening the back and then opening the front. because this is a yin and yang movement. If the front opens, the back closes. The back opens, the front closes. But now, by focusing on the back, you've combined the body and the mind. And now it's the whole body, it's not just the front. Okay, let's do a couple more. And then reduce. And then just lower dantian, middle dantian. And a way to really bring body, breath, and mind together is to move the hands slightly. This is whole body breathing. Move this hands slightly with the in-breath. Hands move away a little. Out-breath, hands come back a little bit. And there's a connection between the center of the palm and the center of the chest, the sternum, and the center of the palm and just below the navel. So this makes the breathing more obvious. And so we're aware of our posture. We're aware of this verticality. Aware of the in-breath, the out-breath, and where the hands moving. And you can just scan the body. Is it relaxed? So certain muscles can tighten up without us even knowing it, unless we scan the body. Okay. Okay. Very good. So the head, neck, shoulders, and chest and back, I mean, that's a lot of tension. We store a lot of tension there. Many of you have done this practice. I mean, we can try it again. So just to demonstrate the relaxation. So on the count of 3, we'll lift our shoulders up as high as they can go. Okay, ready? 1, 2, dip the knees, 3. Okay. Now just feel this. Okay, how is your breath? What does the body feel like? What's the state of the mind? Okay, and on the count of 3, we're going to let go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what happens? You take a deep breath. Notice the breath. Notice sensations in the body. Notice the mood, the quality of the mind. Okay, now let's do it again now. 1, 2, 3. Maybe this is a little less tense. Notice how the body feels. Notice the breath. Notice the mind. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The deep breath you take as soon as you relax. And so this demonstrates the difference between feeling tense and feeling relaxed, and what effect that has on the body and the breath and the mind. Okay. So if you notice just during the day you're a little tense, you just do this. I mean, you don't have to roll this shoulder for 2 minutes and roll that. I mean, you can, it's fine. But if you're in the middle of things, you just do this. And then the entire practice, all the practice that you've done in Qigong comes back just by bringing the body, breath, and the mind together. Okay. Okay, I do want to touch into the balance. Somebody asked me, because I'm old. So what's the secret? What's the secret of health, good health? And I said the secret of good health is putting your shoes on while standing up. So, or your socks. Actually, I said socks. Put your socks on while standing up every day, and take them off while standing up every night. So, just saying, balance can prevent what? Hip replacement, right? Breaking a hip. How many old people die of broken hips or complications of broken hips? So, and there are two here. The first one is simpler, very important. Just rocking if you can imagine the tops of the femurs, they have a ball, and then the pelvis sort of sits on those two. They have sockets. That's what we're doing. We're rolling the sockets on the tops of the femurs. And it doesn't take too many tries to get to be able to do this, and this is so beneficial. And then that'll just sort of naturally, you'll make circles because you're feeling it's more flexible now that you've sort of broken the stiffness. And these are discrete movements, and they're taught as discrete movements, but there's no reason you can't make this into a whole body movement. And what we're kind of doing almost here is getting to trembling mountain, where the whole body just, okay. But the hip flexibility, just please do it, and the balance. My sister, who is an internationally renowned martial arts teacher, says that when you age, you lose muscle strength and you lose some quickness, but your balance can actually improve with age. This is counterintuitive, but if you practice just these few things, just once a week is all, your balance will actually improve. I mean, there's so many ways to do this. I mean, in Tai Chi, you learn these various kicks. And the thing about these, when we walk, we balance on one foot and then the other foot. We do this constantly. It's just that we don't think about it. We're not aware of it. And I do recommend doing this as a standing practice. You can leave your toe on the ground. You don't have to do fancy arm movements and so on. But just to be comfortable on one foot. And this is a concentration practice. Just standing on one foot. This is excellent before sitting meditation. You will get very concentrated standing on one foot. Keep your eyes open. Sometimes we need to make meditation a little harder. Sitting is just too easy. The mind takes off. But if you're standing on one foot, the mind's going, uh-oh, we might tip over. Better keep this aligned. Then you bring the vertical axis to mind, the column, tuck the chin, make this meditation posture. Focus on the breath. Very good practice. Okay, and so now that if once you do a practice like that, where it's holding something, concentrate, then just loosen up. Okay, so if you've practiced some of these standing postures, and it can just be standing just standing rather than sitting for meditation. If you practice these, they get progressively just a little harder, and then come back. If you have some familiarity with those, you might want to try the single weighted postures, and just leave that toe on the ground if you want to at first, and then lift it. Very, very effective for bringing mind, body, because you focus on the breath. The other thing I didn't mention, so how long do you stay in these postures? You count your breaths. Okay, so if I'm going to do a one-legged posture for 10 breaths, I'm counting my breaths. So body, breath, and mind are all together. So we have timers, you can, time each one if you want to, but the ancients, they just counted the breath. And that simple practice marks time, yes, but it brings body, breath, and mind all together. And that's the practice. Okay, let's before we go into rainbow clouds, that's a very expansive practice. So we want to do these rooted practices first, as we've been doing, but we'll work up to that expanded practice just with cloud hands. Okay, and this is what, Tricia, you always call holding the ball. Holding the ball. Okay, and turning in the direction of the upper hand, and then switching. So this move is done about 7 times in the Tai Chi form. And what this is a block. It's a double block. You're blocking a strike, and you're blocking a kick. So that's where it comes from. But in Qigong, this is a beautiful flowing movement. Now, with the breath, don't follow me, follow your own breath. So the middle part of this movement, the hands are aligned, one above the other at the center line of the body. So when we're there, we're concentrated between the hands, the lower dantian, middle dantian, and the torso. And when we're at the sides, we're expanded. So again, this is expansion and compression, a boundlessness and form. And follow your breath. It doesn't matter if it's in breath or out breath, just move with the breath. And now the mind comes in, and again, the mind reminds us, oh, wait a minute, it's not just the front, there's the back of the body, there's the sides of the body, there's up and down, there's this whole space around the body. The mind is realizing this. And so this passing hands through clouds, the clouds are all around. So this is bringing our consciousness to the area around the body. This is our personal space. So all around, the back too, above the head. It's a little shocking to do this. Oh yeah, there's all that behind me. When this is over, I'll tell you a funny story about that. So we're inhabiting, we're moving in this big space that's all around us. You can turn even more. Turn way to the side. We can't turn all the way around, but we're describing this cloud hand so that we're in this mist or fog. We're in this cloud. The cloud is our consciousness. We're conscious of what's around us. Okay. So let's reduce the movements. And now we're coming from this expanded state into a concentrated state. Okay, and then finish in the dantian position. Okay, now realign. So just check with bring the mind to bear. So how's your posture? Can you feel the body? Can you feel the breath? Can you move the hands with the breath a little bit? Keeping all three together. Okay. Okay, very good. Now we'll bring both hands up to the heart area, embracing the heart. And start with your dominant hand. We're going to do rainbow clouds. So since the upper hand or the dominant hand is going to go out, so we're going to sit down, turn the opposite way, straighten out. Now we're reaching. We can feel our arm, hand, fingertips extend way beyond. Use the imagination. What would it feel like to extend this reach very infinitely far? Okay, beyond the edge of the universe to the rainbow clouds. And we gather the rainbow clouds and we bring a little bit of that in to the upper dantian, filling the body, and then just pause for a breath. So we're suffusing the body with this rainbow light, every cell. Okay, and now you do the other hand. You're going to turn the other way. Extend. Really, the rainbow clouds, really see them, feel them. Okay, bring that back. Filling the body. The body now is glowing with this rainbow light. All the organs are lit. And Master Li taught this, and he didn't give an end point to it. It's not like you do it 5 times. You do it as long as you want to. But keep the concentration beyond the edge of the universe to the rainbow clouds. And really feel it and visualize it. Relax the whole body. And then for our purposes, let's do one more. Okay. Again, this is a concentration of that rainbow light in the body. The palms are facing toward the body, keeping this together. Now let's go ahead and take our seat. And, you know, we don't just going from that practice to suddenly we're in our posture. We have to sort of move into it. Just, you know, just move a little till you're comfortable. And then come back to your posture little by little, the chin and so on. Okay, we're aware of the breath coming in the nose. We're aware of the chest and belly expanding and contracting. Pretend that you're breathing from your back, through the back of your heart and the back of your abdomen. So you breathe in front and back simultaneously. Breathe out front and back simultaneously. When the belly expands, it expands in all directions like a balloon, including back. When the lungs expand, they expand in all directions, including back. And this helps to create kind of a space around the body. Okay, very good. And now with the in-breath, breathe in the rainbow light. Fill the body. It gets very kind of saturated. And breathe out, the rainbow light becomes diffuse. So this is called radiance, where you're radiating it out. You're concentrating it in the body. And then you're radiating it out with the out-breath in all directions. And the companion practice is suffusion. So this is where you breathe it all in, concentrate it in the torso. With the out-breath, you suffuse every cell in the body with the rainbow light. And it'll naturally kind of seep out, so to speak. But this is suffusion. The Buddha taught this practice. Now, if you're not already, you can smile just a little tiny bit. Because it feels good, because it's good, because we're fortunate to be able to practice. We're fortunate to have a body that's functioning, all of these things. So you naturally smile just a little, maybe a lot. And so you can practice radiation or suffusion. It's just you do it with the breath. And the teachers always teach that you're radiating it everywhere, like out the bottoms of the feet, top of the head, every direction. This brings attention to the entire body. It combines mind and body completely with the breath. And when you feel that, there's a relaxation. When you feel that, and an uprightness in the posture, that is a being in a state of concentration. Let's take a few more breaths. So, and then as you begin to come out of the meditation, start just by moving the toes a little, moving maybe the fingers, just however you want to, but just come out of it, just gently, just ease yourself out of that. Moving however you may need to. Okay, and the closing movement, closing practice. Okay, so we're going to clap hands. 1, 2, 3. All right, make heat. Okay, and now again, the way this is taught, rub your eye sockets, using your fingernails, comb back your hair. But there are many things you can do. You can just lightly, gently massage the face. You can massage the temple areas, make little circles. The upper jaw. The only thing is, when you do the eye sockets, be careful not to touch the eyeballs. You're just massaging the area around the eye socket. So however you want to do that. A dear friend of mine refused to do the scalp massage because she really didn't want to mess up her hair. and that's totally fine. And then once you've done that, then you just sort of want to wipe down the body. And again, we're going to bring our attention to the back. And so this is tapping the kidneys. And in the medical Qigong, the kidneys are considered the storehouses of Qi. And so you want to tap them to compress the Qi into that area and sort of close them, and then you massage them. But you see how, again, this brings attention to your back, so that you're more aware of the whole body. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your presence, for your practice. And I will send you a message, and I'll see you, I think it's the 4th of January, but I might be wrong. The first Monday in January. So wishing you good practice, have a great holiday. And for those of you who would like to vanish, that's fine. And those who would like to stay for discussion, that's fine too.
Hey, Stephen, just to clarify regarding the day of the week, is it Monday or Wednesdays in January?
Oh, I said Monday, didn't I?
Yeah.
That is wrong. Bad. No
Okay.
good.
Just
Yes.
checking.
Wednesday. It used to be Monday, but no, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Yes. Thank you
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
clarifying that. Okay. So any questions or comments before I get to my wild and crazy story?
Hi, Stephen. It's my first time meeting you. My name is Jim.
Huh.
I know some people here and very nicely, and they've recommended this, which I have really enjoyed. It's been an
Oh, good.
education in so many ways. Um, and the thing is that I tutor a student in geometry. Just, we usually go into this time. So I'm afraid that in the future, I might need to be late. Or maybe not make it. But I was wondering if late was okay with you, like even as much as a half an hour late.
No, it's fine. No,
Yeah.
you come whenever you like. And these are recorded and they're on YouTube.
Okay.
So whatever you missed, or if you want to look at other classes, it's fine. Just put in my name and YouTube. And Jim, if you can send me your email, I'll put you on my email list.
Okay, we'll do.
Do you have my email
I
address?
do. I have it.
Okay.
I do have it, and I will do that.
Okay, then
Thank
you'll
you.
be kept abreast of what's happening. Occasionally I miss a class or something and you're going to want to know that. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so the story of what's behind you. So I used to never tell these stories, but at this point, I'm 73 years old. What the heck? You know, what am I hiding, right? Okay, so I was 4. 4 was a really good year for me. I had a lot of really pretty intense experiences at that age. So I was 4 years old, and we were a military family, and we were living in this little house in Sacramento, and it was always sunny and hot, and I was sitting on my swing, this little kid, and my mind was just turning over and over this question. And the question was, what does it look like behind me? That was the question. And I just couldn't figure it out. What does it look like? Like right now, what does it look like behind me? I couldn't come up with an answer to it. So I went to the wisest being that I knew, who was my big sister, who was a year and a half older than me. So she'd have been maybe 6. And I said, Joanne, I said, I have this problem. She said, what? And I said, well, what does it look like behind me? And in her, aged wisdom, she just kind of scoffed at me and said, oh, it doesn't look like anything. You don't have any eyes in the back of your head. What a silly question. And it kind of shut me down. I love her dearly, but it kind of shut me down. It shut me down for 50 years. Then I was at a retreat with a wonderful teacher named John Travis, and he was teaching on non-self and on the ancient sutra teachings from the Buddha on anataman, on non-self. And he said the way the Tibetans teach this is that non-self is always here. We're just not usually aware of it. And the question is, what does it look like behind you? That's the question. And you can't answer it with your mind. There's no answer. But the answer is the question itself creates non-self. Just by being in the presence of the question, your mind is gone, and that's non-self. And I thought, oh my God. I thought, if I had lived in Tibet instead of Sacramento, and I went to the wise being who would have been the local Lama, and I asked him the question, he would have immediately grabbed me up and put me in the monastery for the rest of my life because I was asking the question. So whether or not that holds water for you, I mean, it was big for me, but just this notion that we're always focused forward. I mean, this is habitual, and it's nothing wrong with it. I mean, my dog is the same way. He's not looking behind him. He's a predator, and he's looking for something to catch, or whatever, or something to run away from, whatever. We're always looking forward because that's how we're oriented. But Ken Cohen taught me this, that you're ignoring, and Ajahn Suchito too, you're ignoring half your body. And when we're always leaning forward or looking forward, we're always leaning into the future. And this is the Buddha's definition of suffering. We're grasping for the next thing. What's next? What's next? It's not good enough to be here. I need to know what's next. So we're focused forward. Even if you look at people's posture or how we walk, we tend to lean into the future. And so with the Qigong, bring the attention to behind us, and we come into the here and now. We're balancing the tendency to always be looking or leaning forward by bringing attention to the back, and now we're in the present moment. So that's Ken Cohen's teaching on that. And I really found that to be true, just for me, and particularly my meditation practice, that if you can be aware of behind you, to your left or right, up, if you're aware of yourself kind of from the outside, you're in the present moment. So it's a way of getting into the present moment through the body, which is kind of what Qigong is. If you try to do it through the mind, I mean, you can, but I think it's not easy. Because the mind's not in the present moment. It's really close, but it's not in the present. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I've got a lot of stories like that. And like I said, I'm at the stage of life I'm going to begin telling them all. Okay, any other questions or comments or anything? I love Amy. I love your smiling lights back there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and don't be shy about leaving. Just disappear when you want to. I really won't be offended. It'll be fine. But really, thank you all. Thank you for joining me in doing this. I really like doing it. And thanks for coming to the retreat. And thanks for practicing, because it benefits all beings. Have a good night. See you in January. Wednesday, right, Kevin?
Yeah,
Wednesday.
see you on Wednesday in January. Thank you.
Not Monday.
Stephen,
Bye-bye.
I actually,
Thank
thank you. I actually have a question.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a big deal. I wonder if you would consider if anybody else would be interested in having an in-person session, maybe once a month or something. Because
Show of
I'm
hands?
just finding that.
Like getting together at the Taiji Center in person.
Yeah, I'm finding that this is great and it's much easier than traveling somewhere, but I miss the human community.
Well, it doesn't seem like, whenever I polled the group, very few people want to do it. You live in Madison, right? So it's not too big a deal. But I was just remembering some of the group things we used to do. There's a group laughing Qigong. Do you remember doing that? Were you there? You get this group together and you kind of, you get yourself all oriented, and then everybody starts laughing, and it is the wildest thing, and you can't do that on Zoom. It just doesn't work. So I'll keep it in mind. But we had people at the retreat from Seattle and from Chicago, from St. Louis, from different places in Wisconsin, and so
I mean, I know, but I'm just putting it out there because.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Good.
See you later. Have a good night.
Great to see everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.